Last night we showed you this spontaneous big protest that sprung up in Somerville, Massachusetts. Almost instantly, like 2,000 people gathered near Tufts University the same day that a Tufts student was snatched off the street by a half dozen federal agents who were covering their faces. They grabbed her and handcuffed her and stuffed her into an unmarked car. As of today, that spot on that Somerville street where she was grabbed by federal agents has become sort of a shrine to her and to what happened there. The tree there where they grabbed her is now adorned with flowers and ribbons. There's a sign on it that says, "ICE kidnapped our neighbor." We now know that this young woman was moved to an immigration facility, a prison, effectively, in Louisiana, despite a judge's order that she was not to be removed from the state of Massachusetts without notifying the court. She's in Louisiana anyway. Today, a federal judge ordered that Trump is not allowed to deport this young woman. While the judge reviews her case and reviews her arrest, the judge ordering that she, quote, shall not be removed from the United States until further order of this court. We also got confirmation today that this student, her name is Rumesa Ozturk, she was never even notified that her visa had been revoked by the Trump administration. Boston Globe reports today the Trump administration revoked the visa of a Tufts graduate student on March 21st, but never notified her before masked immigration and customs enforcement agents swarmed her on a Somerville sidewalk Tuesday and took her into custody. Just think about that for a second. Think about that. I mean, it's one thing for them to have revoked this woman's visa. I mean, it has its own First Amendment issues, right? Among other things, to put it mildly. The U.S. government is not supposed to be able to revoke someone's visa because they wrote an op-ed the president disagrees with or they went to a protest. That is one part of this fight. But it's one thing to revoke her visa. It is another thing to not tell her you have done so. Right? Because then the first time she finds out that she no longer has a valid visa is when she is physically grabbed on the street, thrown into a car, put on a plane, flown across the country and stuffed into a prison. Right? I mean, if you notify somebody that you have revoked their visa, they then have the opportunity not only to, potentially fight it, I guess, but they also have the opportunity to leave the country without being imprisoned, right? But if you just take their visa away and never tell them the way they're doing this, somebody in her situation, the visa holder who's had her visa revoked, she has no way to avoid going to prison. There's nothing she can do to avoid being imprisoned. Why do it this way? This is all going to be litigated. Rumesa Ozturk's legal team, I should tell you now, includes 3 lawyers from the ACLU who have joined her case. And, it's worth noting that to the extent these immigration cases are getting into court, the Trump administration is losing. Today in New Jersey, people gathered outside the courthouse in Newark in support of Mahmoud Khalil, another grad student the Trump administration is trying to deport after snatching him from, I believe, student housing at Columbia. The courts have so far blocked Khalil's deportation. His lawyers are asking a federal judge in New Jersey to free him from the prison that he is sitting in Louisiana. In Virginia today, a judge did order the release of a Venezuelan couple who were arrested by immigration authorities this month. They have legal authorization to live and work in the United States, but they were nevertheless arrested and have been put in prison by the Trump administration. The judge in Virginia today called their arrests, quote, baseless and unlawful. The couple had already been arrested once and ordered released by a judge. Then the Trump administration arrested them again. Both times it was in front of the couple's young children. The court hearing today, the judge, quote, rebuked government officials for claiming in court that the couple posed a public threat. The judge ordered both of them released straight from the courthouse. The judge said to a Trump administration lawyer, quote, there is no reason why they are being held. If this was a criminal case, I would throw you out of my chambers. In a court filing in this case, an assistant director of an ICE field office in Washington described the woman in this couple as an affiliate of a gang and later described her as a senior member of a gang. The judge practically crumpled up that filing and threw it in the trash, saying, quote, this is a terrible, terrible affidavit. Described the claims in the affidavit as, quote, pure hearsay, assumptions and, quote, putting words in people's mouths. And did I mention she told the Trump administration lawyer that she was inclined to throw him out of the place? Like I said, the Trump administration keeps losing on this stuff in court, including this ruling tonight, which says they cannot deport people to some third country where they're not a citizen without due process under law. Like, for example, the way they sent hundreds of men to prison in El Salvador without any notice, let alone a hearing. But as they keep losing all of these cases in court over and over and over again, and frankly, probably because they keep losing all of these cases in court, the Trump administration is trying to make it difficult, if not impossible, for lawyers to fight them in court, trying to make it impossible for lawyers to do their jobs, giving people access to the remedies afforded by the US Constitution in our judicial system. As Trump moves to try to intimidate and block the legal profession from doing its role to protect the Constitution and people who are in this country, it has very quickly sort of become a do or die time for the US legal profession in terms of standing up for itself and standing up to his intimidation. A mixed record thus far, but a very, very urgent calling for the legal profession right now. We've got more on that ahead. Stay with us.